Hey everyone, this video is about the world being anti-babies, people being anti-babies, and I think that like this whole gay agenda, that's what's behind it, is like a hatred of babies, and it's really sad. I think I heard once in a sermon that like, I don't know, like a ridiculously high number of babies is aborted every year. And that's really sad. And I was thinking that must do something to our economy. Like, that's probably why our government is letting in tons of illegals, because we're not producing enough babies. And you have to have a high population of young people so that they're paying taxes, which covers the Medicare of older people. So you have to make sure for America to work, to have, for every one old person, you have to have a young person that's paying taxes, which basically provides for their Medicare. Or it might be two. I think you probably need like 2 young people for every 1 old person. Anyway, so this is like a serious issue, but I guess that's like God's solution. I guess the problem is that all the illegals are coming in, and we should just make them citizens and just get that over with. And I hope that they really appreciate being citizens. But because babies are not being produced as much now. Like, okay, I just had my son a year ago, and it was so weird in the hospital. My mother-in-law was saying like we were one of the only occupied rooms. Like most of the rooms were empty. So yeah, this is like a thing now. And what's the deal with that? I don't know. I think it's like fear. Obviously, women are afraid of the pain of child labor, but something to keep in mind is it's just one day. I've had 3 kids now, and the first time I was pregnant, I kept telling myself that it's just one day. And that really helped a lot. And if you are pregnant or you're thinking about getting pregnant, what helps a lot is to get like a pain med in your IV, and you honestly barely feel anything. Or you can do the epidural, which I did get an epidural my 3rd time, and it wasn't really that painful. It just felt like bees lightly stinging on your back. So if you're curious about that, there's that. Anyways, but women need to stop being afraid of having babies. But that's the cause of abortions, is that all these women get pregnant and they're like, oh my gosh, like I've seen it in the movies. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through child labor. But you will survive, most likely. I mean, there's a small percentage that, women who go into child labor die, but usually you're fine. Our modern medical technology makes it so that almost all women get out perfectly fine. And if you do have to have a C-section, yeah, it sucks, but you'll recover. My last baby, I had a C-section, and yes, it was incredibly painful, probably for a week, but I mean, I survived, No pain, no gain, as they say. So anyways, and that was one theory that I had about homosexuality. It's not so much like the weakening of men. It first was the weakening of women, and that a lot of women don't want to have babies, so they have abortions, and then they don't want to raise their kids, and they want to just go off to work and put them into preschools and daycare. Anyway, so because women are getting weaker in that way, and they're not like owning up to their role, their God-given role, then that makes the men weaker. So women really are leading the way on that, in people getting weaker. Then the men are getting weaker, and then a lot of guys are turning gay. But what's the reason? It's probably because they can't find a woman who will have kids with them, because the women are too scared. And I understand. I mean, most of my 20s, I was scared. I was scared of child labor. I didn't have my first kid till I was 28, but you can't just live in fear, and the only way to conquer your fear is to do the thing that you are the most afraid of. But then once you do it, you're not really afraid of it anymore. I mean, maybe still a little bit, but mostly, like it's the buildup. It's the anticipation. It's the expecting the worst. That's what causes fear, Don't expect the worst. You gotta have faith. Either you have faith or you don't. Either you have fear or you have faith, you know? So choose to have faith, you know? Have faith that God's gonna take care of you no matter what, you know? And maybe some things will be painful, but you'll be okay. You will survive. You'll get through it. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know, it's so true. And you become more resilient and tougher. You know, the more crazy bull crap that you go through, you get stronger. So just believe that, and believe that you can overcome whatever challenge God has you go through. God bless. God loves you all. Bye.